All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I say that because I never know what time somebody may watch this replay. But welcome to everybody who's here live. If you're here live on Facebook or here live in our Zoom, we want to welcome you to the Time to Tell the Truth weekly series. Yes, it's been a weekly series. I think this is number 49. It might be number 50. We started out, God told me to do 52 of these, and we're almost there. It'll probably keep going because we do something 52 times, you kind of get used to doing it. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But we want to welcome you to Tell the Truth. That's an old TV show back in the day, To Tell the Truth, and people stood up who were telling the truth. Some of them were lying, but the only one that stood up the whole time was the one that told the whole truth. And that's what our attempt is to do. We do the research, we just read a lot of stuff, we listen to a lot of stuff, come up with a lot of different topics that are helping us, I believe, with our wellness lifestyle. Well, if you don't know who I am, if you're here for the very first time, or maybe you just don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Bell. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, but I do have a couple of doctorates in theology and divinity. I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry. I'm a wife. Some of you might have seen my husband just a few minutes ago. We're about to celebrate our 13th anniversary this week, and we're going on a cruise. So we're excited about that. So we wanted to get this done before we get on that boat, right? So anyway, there are a lot of things that God has blessed me to be able to do. But one of those things that I'm really proud of is that I'm a certified wellness coach. Yes, got some credentials, a certificate of completion where I got a certificate of entrepreneur and lifestyle consultant, as well as a certified wellness coach from our naturopathic doctor, Dr. Eric Prince. So just really elated to be able to share the information with you. So let's not delay this anymore. Let's get started. Because as you can see, today's topic is dying with the answer in our hands. Let's talk about it. So the power to heal is in our hands. And I want you to think about that right now. The power to heal is in our hands. And sometimes we don't recognize that, and people we come in contact with don't recognize that. Your journey to wellness begins with a single choice, not a doctor's prescription or a medical miracle, but our own decision to reclaim and take control over our health. But our decision has to be made. So what you're about to see is hopefully to empower you with the knowledge that true healing actually starts with you. So we already hold the power. I'm not trying to tell you you're going to get something brand new. You actually hold the power. For too long, we've been conditioned to believe that our health is out of our control, that we need to wait for some kind of medical intervention when problems arise, or we need to rely on specialists to interpret our own body signals, or that we need to accept that we're going to just decline in health. There's not a day that goes by that I don't hear somebody talk about their health as it relates to their age. Because they're a certain age, they have to, did you hear what I said? They have to have certain conditions and problems because they are a certain age. Now, don't misunderstand me. Age does have a part in this. But whether or not you have to, because see, I see 90-year-old people that are on treadmills and running. So what's the difference between them and you? I see 70 and 80-year-olds playing pickleball and thriving in their lives. They're not barely making it, they're thriving. So what's the difference between them and you? Well, they may know something that maybe somebody else doesn't know. So you have the power. And this passive approach, it has really disconnected us from our own innate healing abilities, and it's surrendered our power to external authorities. I don't want to surrender my power. As this picture of this lady, she's in chains. So that means that we can really still be in slavery. So your body is talking to you. And I want you out of this session this week to really leave here feeling empowered that you absolutely positively can take total control of your health.
If parts of the body are voiced, what will they tell you right now? I am gut. I help you survive by absorbing food. But you often skip breakfast and eat.
I miss my time and rarely remember me. I am the brain.
I don't take a minute off even when you go to bed. But you leave me in stress. And the phone's still on at 3 a.m.
I'm your leg, I carry your weight.
But one time soaking your feet in hot water. I can't have it either.
I'm the lungs, I filter the air, let you breathe verde.
But you forget to go for a walk and take a deep breath. I'm the team that beats 100,000 times a day. But you're giving me too much grease.
Sugar and negative emotions I can't stand.
If parts of the body are voiced, what will they tell you right now? I am gut.
Bad for your health. Ignoring your body's messages, repressing trauma or pain, fueling negativity can actually make you sick. On the other hand, listening to your body, connecting with it, transforming charged unhealthy emotions, nourishing your body, mind and soul not only empowers you, but allows you to thrive. Every choice matters. What will you choose for your body today?
Every choice matters. So the body wants to heal. Oh my God, let me tell you something, guys. God made us, and he made us with a body to heal itself. So the body's not working against you. It's constantly trying to maintain balance and health. Your body, my body, everybody's body has built-in mechanisms to repair and regenerate when it's given the right environment. So we've got to remove whatever's hindering our health. We've got to remove and we've talked about all these different topics through the course of what we've been going through. We got to remove what's hindering our health, our processed foods, our toxins, the chronic stress, and the sedentary habits. Those are the things we have to remove so that the body that God made can heal itself. We've got to provide what the body needs: proper nutrition and movement and rest and positive mental states. Now, I've just talked all that stuff I'm talking about. If we don't do it, then what does that mean? That means then the body doesn't do what it was designed to do to heal itself. But I'm trying to get us to mentally recognize that it's supposed to be able to do that. But when we stop interfering with the body's natural processes, healing often follows naturally. So we actually literally have the tools in our hands. The fork. It's a tool in your hand. Each meal is a choice that either fuels health or promotes disease. Every single bite is a vote for the body you want to build. Your grocery cart. Do you know that the supermarket is your pharmacy? Oh, I know. You've gone to the pharmaceutical place right there, whether you go to CVS or whether you go to Walgreens or whether you go to an independent pharmacy, but the supermarket is your pharmacy. And guess what? Guess what would happen if we walked in the grocery store thinking that way? I'm going to the pharmacy. What you choose to bring home is going to shape your health trajectory more than any prescription drug that you could ever take. And your kitchen, that's where you transform this space into your personal healing center. That's your laboratory where the whole foods become medicine through simple preparation. So it starts with the power of your mindset. And that's what I'm working on right now, is your mindset, because your thoughts will shape your health reality. The way that some of us think is causing the disease and the sickness to be lingering in our bodies. Am I saying you'll never get sick? I never said that. But for it to linger in your body. See, research shows that your beliefs about your health significantly impact your physical outcomes. There have been some tests where they gave people sugar pills when they thought they were taking a pill, and they got better. because mentally they thought this pill is going to help me, and the pill had nothing to do with it. So it's about positive expectations. The same thing has happened when they told someone that they had cancer and misdiagnosed them, and then they finally told them that they didn't have cancer, but because of the misdiagnosis, their mindset caused them to get cancer. So positive expectations can enhance healing responses. See, you can begin to think mentally so heavily that you're going to be healed, that you're not going to stay sick in your body, that all of a sudden you don't understand the power of your mind. Self-efficacy improves treatment, adherence, and outcomes. Stress reduction. Hello? The folk that's stressing you out. I tell people this all the time. The people that are stressing you out will be the first ones to look over your casket and say, she was a good old girl. He was a really good guy. So stress reduction through mindfulness directly affects inflammation. And when you believe in your body's ability to heal, you activate powerful mind-body pathways that support recovery. So I'm going to say it again. Your fork, it's your weapon, and it's your wand. It's both your weapon and your wand. With each and every meal, you choose whether to harm or to heal your body. As a weapon, it can deliver processed foods, excess sugar, inflammatory oils, factory-farmed animal products that gradually undermine your health. Next time, look at your fork. Are you going to be my weapon? Are you going to be my wand? It can deliver vibrant vegetables, healing herbs, quality proteins, nourishing fats that empower your body's innate healing ability. Somebody does not believe this. But the choice is in your hands. Which will you choose today?
What we're going to be talking about today is how we heal and the greatest healer of them all. And what I mean by that is quite often what people do is they overlook what is most immediate in front of them. They overlook the things that are really major keys in their life, because these things we've been talked out of, we've been programmed out of, and a lot of propaganda has sort of pushed us to believe that we're not enough and that we don't understand what we're capable of and what nature is capable of. And so when we talk about healing, it's important to know and understand that our perception of healing is very different from where our ancestors were and what was intended for healing to be in our body, okay? In our life, in our spirits, in our minds, etc. And if you look and take a moment to do your research and look at the current situation we have in modern medicine, what you'll see and understand very quickly is that there is no healing in modern medicine. There's only treatment, and there's a huge difference between treatment and healing. They are not the same. And to give you my understanding of what the difference between the two is, treatment is the manipulation of your biochemistry. Okay, so manipulating your angiotensin II system so that you can lower your blood pressure. Okay, manipulating your hormones so that you can achieve a synthetic state of balance as it relates to your hormones. It means to suppress your immune system so that you don't have a reaction to something. This is a manipulation of your biochemistry. This is what modern medicine does, okay? Now, there's a big difference between that, which is treatment, and healing. Healing is not only the correction of your biochemistry, so now you go back to the original state in which you were not only healed, but it's your normal state of being. But it's also important to realize that it's also going to a point where now, not only do you have the normalized blood pressure, not only is there balance in your hormones, not only is there, no need to suppress your immune system because your immune system recognizes itself as self, but it's also the correction in the spirit, the mind, and the body. So all three, okay? So that's true healing. And there's a huge difference between treatment and healing. Okay? Now, let's get into what is the greatest healer of them all. Okay? Because, we know that if you've been here on this channel, you know that I talk a lot about healing trauma. I talk a lot about the use of herbs. I talk a lot about, the importance of removing toxicity from your body, especially when you think about today in America where there's over 80,000 chemicals allowed in the food supply that weren't allowed 70 years ago. And when you start to think about the things that didn't exist 70 years ago, genetically modified foods, lab grown foods, all the chemicals, all the dyes, cell phones, computers, the radiation coming from that, the list goes on and on in terms of like the amount of toxicity that we're getting exposed to today. Okay? But I also talk about deficiency. I can go on and on about all the different levels that we have to look at when it comes to healing. But here's the most important, bar none, the most important thing that plays the hugest role when it comes to your healing. The most important factor to your healing is you. You are your greatest ally, okay? You are the most important thing when it comes to your healing. It doesn't matter if it's trauma. It doesn't matter if it's removing toxicity. It doesn't matter if it's correcting deficiency. You are bar none the most important person in your healing journey. Not your doctor, not Dr. Bobby, not your wife, not your husband, not your parents, not where you currently are in your socioeconomic status. It's you. You are bar none the most important factor. Now here's why I say that, and this is really important. People don't realize is that if you're trying to remove toxicity from your body, okay, that's what diabetics need to do, right? When they're sugar overloaded, all this sugar that is loaded in their bloodstream, right? They're trying to remove that from the body. That's the only way they can get the blood sugar down so that they don't have a diabetic coma, so that they don't start to develop, gangrene and lead to amputations, so that they don't start to, get that sugar in the eye and that lead to blindness, get that sugar in the kidneys and that lead to kidney failure, et cetera, okay? Same thing with blood pressure, same thing with cancer. The list goes on and on, right? It's important to know this is why you're so important in that healing journey. Because if you're attached, okay, you're living in an attached life and you're attached to the wrong things, you're attached to things that are not divine, then you will hold on to everything, okay? You'll not only hold on to the thinking that got you there in the first place, you'll not only hold on to the habits that got you there in the first place, but you'll hold on to the toxicity, the cancer, and the waste in the body as well too, okay? So attachment doesn't just happen on the mental level and the handheld physical level, but it literally happens on a biochemical level as well too. And it's really important that we understand that. Now, this is why I say you are the greatest healer of you, okay? Because I always say that, like, who will heal the healer? Because people ask me, who do I use to heal myself? Well, I know that there's a divine spark inside of me. And that is what heals any and all and everything, okay? That divine spark inside of me that also exists inside of you is what heals everything, okay? So that means that God is in and of everything that is good, that is healing, okay?
So we've all got that spark. We've all got God inside of us. And that's why we are the most important person when it comes to our healing. But the question is coming to my mind lately as I talk to people, as I sit down next to people and we do their bioscan and we show them what's going on in the cells of their body, and they do nothing about it. They don't make any changes at all. Then I have to ask myself, why? So it made me start beginning to think about, what is this thing that causes us to resist change? And I believe everybody at some point in their lives, they have a difficult time with making some changes because we love what we love, right? but it's the psychology behind why we resist change. There's a paradox of resistance. Even when we know change would benefit us, we sometimes still resist it fiercely, not just slightly, but fiercely. And this resistance isn't a character flaw. And I'm not trying to show shade on anybody, throw anybody under the bus, make you feel really bad, although I hope you feel kind of bad, right? Right. But it's deeply rooted in our psychology. Understanding that these mechanisms is the first step toward overcoming them. When we recognize our patterns, we gain power over them. And I'm speaking to myself as well as speaking to you, because there are certain things we just love them. I love them. I love my chips and salsa, right? And we love certain things even when we know that they're bad for us. So we conform, and there's a comfort level to something that's familiar. We cling to what we know, even when we know it harms us. That's a paradox. This paradox affects everything from relationships to health habits. There's a comfort zone, and our brains are wired to conserve energy and avoid uncertainty. Familiar patterns, even harmful ones, they require less mental effort than creating new ones. You don't have to work hard to keep doing the same thing you've been doing, right? And then there's a protective mechanism. The unknown represents potential danger to our primitive brain. Staying with what we know, it feels safer. Activating our built-in fear response to change. There's an emotional attachment. Yes, we develop emotional connection to our habits, even unhealthy ones. They become part of our identity, making change feel like losing part of ourselves. There are people in your scope of influence, people that know you. They know certain things you like. And even if you decide to stop doing them, that's the thing they bring to your birthday party. That's the thing they bring to your anniversary, because they know you are emotionally attached to that. So there's cognitive dissonance, the mind's defender. See, when our actions contradict our beliefs about ourselves, then we go through a mental discomfort called cognitive dissonance. Rather than accept that our habits are self-destructive, we create elaborate justifications. Well, you know, I'm too busy to exercise. We know it's good for us, but I'm too busy. I don't have time. Everybody in the family has health problems. It runs in my family. It goes down in my lineage. Then we have that self-image protection. We see ourselves as rational, intelligent beings. Acknowledging that we're actively harming ourselves threatens this positive self-image, triggering defensive responses, because we don't want to talk about ourselves. We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror. Yes, we are the men in the mirror. So there's learned helplessness when hope fades. Repeated experiences of failure or an inability to control outcomes can lead to a state of learned helplessness. The belief that our actions don't really matter. It's okay. See, after you've been made to feel helpless enough times, you simply just stop trying. You stop even trying to come out of the cage.
You need to hear this if you're feeling stuck. Here's a story about breaking free. One day, a man saw a group of elephants. Huge, powerful creatures. Yet they were tied with small ropes to their legs. No cages, no chains. They could easily break free, but they didn't even try. Curious, the man asked the trainer, "Why don't they escape?" The trainer smiled and said, "When these elephants were babies, we tied them with the same size rope. Back then, they couldn't break free. They grew up, but they never realized their strength. They believe the rope still holds them, so they never try to escape." The man stood there, astonished. These powerful animals stayed trapped because they believed they couldn't break free. Just like the elephants, how many of us hold on to limiting beliefs simply because we failed once before? Failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. Never let your past define your future. Break free from the mental ropes that hold you back. The only thing holding you back is the belief that you can't break free.
Some of you have heard that story before, right? Well, some of us are just like the elephant. Starting as a child, there were certain eating habits that we had, certain lifestyles we had that we haven't broken free from. And we're still tied, even though we're grown as I don't know what. We can think for ourselves. We've looked at the label. We see it's bad for us. We know the colors. We've listened to all of these different sessions that we've been in. But we're just like the huge tonnage of an elephant, and all he has to do is just barely move and he could break the chain. Because there's a grip. There's a grip of addiction. And modern life has created new forms of dependency that go beyond traditional substance addiction. See, we point the finger. We point the finger at the drug addict. Why doesn't he get some help? Why doesn't he stop smoking? Why didn't he stop drinking? Why didn't he stop getting, he's losing his family, he's losing his marriage, he's losing his kids, he's losing himself, he's killing himself, his liver's deteriorating. We point the finger at them, whether it's crack or whether it's whatever it is. But I think we need to point the finger at ourselves. Sugar, processed foods, what does it do? Triggers dopamine release similar to addictive drugs, creating powerful cravings and withdrawal symptoms when it's removed. Anything that creates a withdrawal symptom when you can't get it, you just can't make it. Oh, I gotta have this. I can't start my morning without this. That's an addiction. Digital stimulation. Constant notifications and information create neurological reward patterns that make focus and stillness increasingly difficult. Can't even focus without it. Convenience. The path of least resistance becomes addictive. We develop dependencies on shortcuts, even when they harm our long-term well-being. Stress hormones, chronic stress creates an adrenaline cortisol cycle that can become physically addictive, making busyness a form of dependency. So we got to break through the resistance. First, we got to get aware. That's what this is all about. That's what this is here for us to make the first step of, because what you don't know. But when you recognize your specific psychological barriers without judgment or shame, that begins the process. And then just being aware is not enough. You got to understand it. It's got to be clear to you. It's got to turn a light bulb on inside of you. And everybody has their own cycle. It's like, I use the example as a minister, getting saved. First time somebody told me about Jesus, I didn't say yes to it. Everybody's got a yes moment. To learn how these mechanisms develop as protective adaptations, not character flaws. Hear me when I say this. This is not a flaw in your character. This is something that we've been indoctrinated with. And that's why we have to start taking those small steps. Create tiny, achievable changes that bypass this resistance to change and build momentum. And then connect with others. There's nothing like community, nothing better than community, to connect with others, to create accountability and to witness successful change in somebody else's life. Because if I can see the change in you, guess what? I have hope that there can be a change in me. Self-compassion. Replace that shame and that judgment with kindness towards yourself, even when you drop the ball, even when there's a setback. Because together, we're moving forward. So remember, resistance to change is not a personal failing. It's part of being human. There's not a human being that has never failed. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: preserve energy and avoid the uncertainty. But change happens through consistent, small actions, not dramatic transformations. We're not expecting something dramatic to happen all of a sudden, because when that happens, that's not natural. When you hear people that just drop 50 pounds in 2 days, 5 days, 1 week, oh, that's not natural. Each tiny step rewires neural pathways and builds confidence in your ability to change. And you got to share your journey with others, walking in the same path, similar path. You don't want to be around folk and they're eating everything that you ain't supposed to eat. No, you can slip sometimes. You're going to eat something that you know is not good for you time after time. But when you're around somebody, that's when it's hardest. You're going to detox and everybody else in your house is just eating like crazy. That's really, really difficult, right? So together we can overcome the psychological barriers that keep us from becoming our healthiest selves. And then spiritually bypassing the faith paradox. Now, this is going to surprise some people right now, that I, as a minister, am about to say what I'm about to say. Because we'll say this in a minute. God will take care of me. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not denying that God can take care of you. But sometimes we use the God will take care of me, and it becomes problematic when it becomes an excuse to neglect the body he gave us. See, God doesn't do what we can do. He does what we can't do. That's what miracles are, when he does the supernatural, what we can't do. But guess what we can do? We can put the fork down. That's why it's funny when we pray over our food and we ask God to remove the calories. Really? Duh. You're eating the calories. Spiritually bypassing occurs when people use their spiritual beliefs to avoid taking responsibility for physical health choices. And it's very apparent to me in the body of Christ that we do this so regularly because preachers die in the pulpit. After preaching heaven down, after being anointed, singers are anointed, musicians are anointed, and they died seemingly before their time because we're bypassing our responsibility. This creates a false dichotomy between faith and action, ignoring the biblical principle that the body is a temple meant to be honored and maintained. And many religious communities inadvertently reinforce this pattern by focusing exclusively on spiritual health while neglecting teachings about stewardship of physical well-being. It's right there in the Word of God.
Hello, good morning. So I'm going to try something different here. I'm typically the only person in this gym. It's actually very telling. But what is the reason why I'm doing all of this? I'm going to be showing up more often, showing you my workouts, because there's something about when you watch somebody work out, it motivates you to want to get up. Those mirror neurons that want to do what they see the other person's doing. So number one, that's clinically knowing about the brain. You see, you want to do. But number two, as a believer, the disciplines of our bodies can be connected to godliness. As we discipline our bodies, I say can be, depending on the person's heart intention. For me, it is. As we steward our bodies, what we put into our bodies, what we even allow in our bodies, ladies, protecting our bodies, food and other things, and how we exercise our bodies is under stewardship. And that is a form of spiritual discipline. As well as, many other things. I had a thought, but I'm not going to go there. Oh, as well as, that's the other thought where I wanted to go, which is one of the greatest commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And right, the second greatest commandment, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So, when I think about loving myself, I think about stewardship. I think about how I care for my temple. I think about how I nurture my temple, how I care for myself, how I set limits and boundaries, how I pour into the spiritual man as well as the physical man. This is why this is important, ladies. When we think about this as believers, and my target audience is Black women, under the umbrella of building healthy families and being competitive on the marketplace for those of you who want to be married, we are losing just on physical stewardship alone. Right? Things happen. Many of us have maybe some medical conditions, but a lot of these things can be changed by how we change what we put in our bodies and how we move our bodies. I love to dance. I do that. Working out. This is a low impact exercise. Those of you who struggle with the knees. Many of you don't have Megan Thee Stallion knees. Get on an elliptical or get on a bike. Move your body or walk. I've lost almost 50 pounds in the last 6 months, and I got about 25 more pounds to go. Yeah, I was that big. We began to prioritize other things other than our health, our wellness, which the spiritual discipline of our physical bodies is attached to every other area in our lives. So, discipline, your body, have the heart mindset as the believer, as it is training you in godliness, one form of it. And not only that, you want to maximize your outcome for those of you who want to be in long-term relationships that lead to marriage. To be continued.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we're moving forward. Integration, not isolation. We're not trying to isolate anybody. We don't want you to feel depressed as you're listening to this. We want to challenge you. Challenge the binary thinking that forces choices between conventional medicine or alternative approaches. We're not denying conventional medicine. Hear me when I say this. We're learning options. Become your own health advocate by developing foundational knowledge about your unique body and its needs. When you go to the doctor's office, you know your body. I've seen people go and the doctor said, I don't see anything. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. And the person is still yet saying, yes, there is. So connect, build relationships with healthcare providers who respect both evidence-based medicine and traditional wisdom. And then make daily choices that honor the body's innate capacity for health while accessing modern medicine when it's appropriate. So I'm not throwing away modern medicine, all right? There's a time for it. There's a place for it. It just should not be forever. You got to do this for the rest of your life. No, I got to find some other solutions rather than doing it for the rest of my life. True health sovereignty comes not from rejecting systems entirely, but from engaging with them consciously, taking what serves us and leaving what doesn't. My grandmama used to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones. I just said that recently. What's good for you? Reject what's not good for you. The future of healthcare lies in this integration of wisdom from multiple sources. Don't tell me that nutrition doesn't work. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that changing my diet and my lifestyle is not going to change and produce healing in my body. So we got to understand the difference between management versus reversal. We've done some sessions prior why they don't want us to understand this, because it makes them no money if I walk in health. See, when you're facing chronic illness, we often have two paths: managing the symptoms or addressing the root causes. And both have their place, but understanding the difference is crucial to your healing journey. Let's be clear. I'm not against doctors. I'm not against medication. Modern medicine absolutely positively saves lives on a daily basis. We see people going in the hospital and coming out. But what if some of those conditions could have been reversed rather than just managed? See, I'm talking about once you come out, it's time for me not to manage. It's time for me to reverse. So the reality of chronic disease, the things that we tend to have in our neighborhoods all the time, 80% of them are lifestyle driven. Of chronic diseases are directly influenced by our diet, exercise, stress, sleep, and environmental factors. You do not have to have it. You do not have to maintain that I am a diabetic. You can say that you are dealing with diabetes, or you've been attacked with diabetes, or you're trying to control, or you're trying to get rid of, or you're trying to reverse. I'd like for you to say that, reverse. 70 million Americans live with at least one chronic condition that could potentially be improved through lifestyle modifications. 5x more effective. Addressing the root cause can be up to 5 times more effective at producing lasting health improvements than symptom management alone. These statistics, I didn't make them up. They reveal a profound truth that many chronic conditions respond dramatically to lifestyle interventions that address underlying causes rather than just the symptoms. So there's a myth. We're not talking about a quick fix. See, because we love the quick fix. We've been conditioned. That's why we grab a pill. That's why we take a pill. That's why we grab something that comes out on the television and say, oh, I'm going to get that because, that's going to make me do it in 30 minutes or 3 years or less than, feel better in 30 minutes. This mindset keeps us trapped in cycles of symptom management. True healing often requires what? Patience, my dear Watson, and persistence. My husband used to tell me that. You didn't gain that weight overnight. Your body didn't develop chronic inflammation or an autoimmune response overnight. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, that did not happen overnight. It happened over time. Diabetes doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. High blood pressure doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And it won't heal overnight either, but it will heal. And when we chase the quick fixes, we miss the opportunity to address what's actually causing our suffering in the first place. So why do natural approaches get just abandoned? Because we delay the results. We don't like delayed results. We want it right now. See, when it's natural, it often works gradually as the body rebuilds. Because what did I say? God made this body to heal itself. But it's a gradual rebuilding, a gradual rebalancing, making progress less immediately obvious than symptom masking medication. That's another reason why I love the bioscan, because I can take it, I can do a bioscan this year, do some things in my life to change my lifestyle, do another bioscan in another year, and see the progression going in the right direction. Return to attempt. Many eventually circle back to natural approaches after realizing medication alone isn't creating lasting change. So we go back, right? Healing isn't always a straight line upward. It goes in different directions. And sometimes you have some setbacks and some plateaus that can discourage your expecting continuous improvement. Because continuous improvement, let's be real, has a whole lot to do with us doing continuous change. And sometimes we don't do continuous change because we got stuff going on in our life. Right. Birthday parties, anniversaries, cruises, right? All this stuff is going on. Subtle changes. The first signs of healing might be just having something like better sleep or more energy. Not the elimination of the main symptom. That makes it easy. You can miss the progress because you don't give yourself credit for the small rewards. Come on, pat yourself on the back for what you did today. That you went to a party and you didn't eat everything that was there. You throw yourself a party. For many people, the fear of change becomes greater than the fear of staying sick. See, changing your diet establishes new routines, addressing emotional patterns, exploring the root cause of illness. It requires stepping into the unknown. And the familiarity of the chronic symptom, as uncomfortable as it is, can kind of feel safer than the uncertainty of transformation until that becomes comfortable. That's a paradox. The paradox keeps many people stuck in management rather than moving toward healing. So we have a disconnection, the hidden barrier to healing. We live in our heads, guys. We live in our heads. Our analytical minds constantly plan, worry, problem solve, often drowning out the subtle signals our body sends about what it needs to heal. Our body talks to us. Career and external focus, we prioritize productivity, achievement, and external validation over the internal work of listening to and supporting our body's needs. And then we ignore the early warning signs. People feel pain in their chest and completely ignore it. Oh, must be, pain here, must be indigestion. Oh, I just must be tired. Years, and we push through because we're the kind of people, we push through stuff. We push through fatigue. We push through digestive issues. We push through pain. We push through stress. And all those are warning signs, early warning signs to teach us to override our body's communication rather than respond to it with care. We push past it. So the challenge is to reconnect with our bodies, and often the first and most important step in the healing journey, just to reconnect and listen to our body. When we listen, our bodies often tell us exactly what it needs to heal. So I want you to begin with awareness. I want you to start noticing where you're managing symptoms versus addressing causes. No judgment, just curiosity and awareness. Reconnect with your body. Practice every day, daily body awareness through meditation, through prayer, through gentle movement, through simple checking in with physical sensations throughout the day. Embrace the gradual changes. Rather than getting that quick fix, commit to small, sustainable changes that address underlying imbalances over time. And then celebrate. Celebrate the subtle progress. Notice and appreciate all the signs of healing, even if they're not directly related to your primary symptoms. True healing isn't just about eliminating symptoms. It's about creating a foundation of well-being that supports your whole self for life.
Life after 40 can be busy and chaotic, but you have the power to take back control of your health. It's never too late to prioritize your well-being. You can start with small steps each day, a short walk, a healthy meal, adding a nutritional supplement to fill in the gaps. You deserve to feel strong, energized, and in charge of your wellness journey. Let's do this together. Visit my website at www.drmikecockrell.com and become a member today.
What other stuff can I do besides completely overhauling my whole life? I can chew my food more. I can drink more water. I can cut off food at a certain time, so I don't have to just go extreme with my diet, but I can just make smaller choices that will make big impact for me in the long run. I'm the bare minimum across the board.
That's perfect, Candace. Call that the bare minimum workout. What is it that you can do consistently on a routine basis, whether that's 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week? Bare minimum workout. I say everybody needs a BMW. I'm good with that because you're consistent with it.
A BMW. Get you a BMW, guys.
What is 5210? Well, 5210 helps you remember to eat healthy, fit in more physical activity and exercise, and drink less sugar. The number 5 stands for eating more fruits and vegetables. Eating fruits and vegetables helps provide your body with vitamins and minerals, which are very important for your growth and health. You can fit more fruits and vegetables into your life. Don't be afraid to try it, mix it, and slice it. Follow the 3-bite rule and try at least 3 bites of each vegetable or fruit you eat. Did you know it can take 7 to 10 tries before you like a new food? You can also dip fruits and vegetables in low-fat dressings, yogurt, or even peanut butter. Go ahead and try it. Add fruits and vegetables to the foods you already enjoy. Add vegetables to your pizza, soup, or noodles. Add fruits to cereals and other breakfast foods. Go ahead and mix it. Having vegetables and fruits already cut into small pieces or sliced can help make it easier to eat healthier because they are ready to grab as you go about your busy day. And if you prefer crunchy over soft foods, it's best to eat fruits and vegetables fresh or lightly steamed. The number 2 stands for lessening your time in front of screens, such as a television, computer, cell phone, or an electronic game. This is hard in a world that has many computer and electronic devices, but lessening your time in front of screens can help you live a healthier life. To help lessen your television watching, don't watch television or get on your computer or phone until after you have finished your homework and chores. Also, don't watch television when you eat. Make meals family time and talk about your day. It can be helpful to use a timer to help keep track of how much time is spent in front of a screen. It can also be helpful, educational, and fun to make television watching a family activity. Family members can talk to each other about the program being watched and ask questions and share points of view. Number 1 stands for getting at least 1 hour of physical activity every day. Moving 1 hour every day helps you feel better, keep a healthy weight, and strengthens your heart. Physical activity or exercise also makes the total you stronger. There are lots of fun ways to move about. You can go on walks with your family, play with your pet, take a bike ride, dance, jump rope, walk or run, rollerblade, hike, snowshoe, or make snow angels. Moderate physical activity includes doing things where you breathe hard, like hiking or dancing. while vigorous physical activity means doing things where you sweat a lot, such as running or playing soccer. It's important to do both types of activity every week. The number 0 is for drinking water and low-fat milk instead of drinks with lots of sugar, such as soda or pop or energy drinks. Although soda and pop might taste yummy, it gives no nutrients to your body. Water is an important fuel for your body. Drinking low-fat milk is also a better choice than drinks sweetened with sugar. Always remember, water and low-fat milk are the best choices for a healthier you. You can drink more water. Even small changes can help. Keep bottled water nearby. Drink water instead of soda or pop. And drink water whenever you are thirsty. Doing these things can help you drink more water every day. To add flavor to your water, you can add fruits such as lemon, lime, or orange wedges. Everyone can practice 5-2-1-0. You don't have to do it alone. You can get your friends and family involved by practicing together. Remind each other to eat 5 fruits and vegetables. Keep your screen watching to 2 hours or less. Get up and move with physical activity at least 1 hour a day. And don't drink sugary drinks. Practice 5-2-1-0 every day for a healthier and stronger you.
Absolutely. So that's it for today. Listen, we're going to continue this one next week. We got part 2 for this. We're going to get into the meat of this where we can realize that every bite is a choice and every bite is a chance. So get back with the person that invited you to take a look at this information because they loved you enough to share it with you. They loved you enough. They're concerned enough about you. They're not just getting on you, not just trying to get on your nerves. They care about your life. We'll see you next week, same time. Definitely hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you find this YouTube channel, hit subscribe so we can share.
Thank